The fallout from the Fukushima nuclear disaster continues to grow as Japan is gripped by fear over radiation in food products. Here's a story from our contributor in Tokyo, Rebecca Milner.
Last month, the mainstream media reported that beef tainted with radioactive cesium had been sent to supermarkets nationwide. The cattle, raised just outside the 20-kilometer exclusion zone, had been fed rice straw, which was later discovered to be highly contaminated. The government has since halted beef shipments from Fukushima. Frustrated citizens are now taking matters into their own hands, doing their own on-the-ground research, and posting their findings on Twitter, using the hashtags NGFood and OKFood. Writes one tweeter by the name of Olive Rigicho, "At my local supermarket, the regular pork clearly stated where it was from, Nagano Prefecture for example, but the ground meat just said made from domestic pork. When I asked the staff where it was from, they replied, I don't know." Supermarkets and restaurants here often boast of carrying grown-in-Japan food in order to reassure consumers after recent food scares in China. Now that domestic products are also a concern, consumers are wondering just what exactly domestic means and are holding supermarkets and restaurants accountable. Writes a tweeter using the handle Koyadohu, "I still haven't gotten a reply from Doma Doma, a chain of upscale pubs, to my email about food production areas." Writes another called Kyukiko, "I called Ringer Hut, the name of a restaurant chain, to find out where they get their pork. The website said it was domestic, but they told me they were getting it from Canada. The squid is from Hakodate, though. What should I do?" Hakodate is a city on the northern island of Hokkaido, far from Fukushima. However, consumers are increasingly anxious over where to draw the line. They're also concerned about causing unnecessary damage to producers whose businesses have already been devastated by fears of contaminated food. But when it comes to the government, there's just skepticism and plain contempt. A campaign by the Ministry of Agriculture that encourages citizens to buy products from disaster-stricken communities as a way of supporting them drew this comment from tweeter Ropewater Sagi, "Ministry of Agriculture, Forestry, and Fisheries. Delicious. Let's eat and get radiated." A voluntary group of citizens has banded together over the internet to test soil samples at 150 locations in the greater Tokyo area. The project, called Radiation Defense Project, grew out of the Facebook group Thinking About the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear plant, which has 4,500 members. Their results are displayed in easy-to-understand charts and maps, and they've claimed to identify a handful of surprising hotspots, including one just north of Tokyo that, based on the zoning regulations used after Chernobyl, would be considered at temporary relocation level. Word of the report has spread, where else but on Twitter, writes one woman, now Nakadai, tweeting a link to the project. "This is reality, isn't it? A sad, regrettable, harsh reality. We should do what we can now." In Tokyo, this is Rebecca Milner for LinkAsia.
Link TV is the only U.S. network dedicated to global and national news, uncompromising documentaries, and diverse cultural programs. Programs which connect you to the world. To learn more, visit linktv.org.